Welcome, everyone, to Mastermind Seminars Live. We would like to welcome those who are in our location here today, as well as all those who are participating via video streaming at our satellite locations all around the world. We'll be introducing our event today and then turning it over to the very capable hands of some amazing presenters who have graciously given of their time and their amazing talents to share their insights into things which will change our lives as well as our businesses. The main question we want you to ask yourself is, why am I here? Is that a valid question to ask? Yeah. Why am I here? Maybe it's making money. Maybe it's saving more time. Maybe it's addressing my biggest challenge. Maybe it's working on my life vision. Whatever it is, we are here to help you do it. And the way it's going to happen is that you're going to get excited and you'll have the great temptation to do absolutely nothing about it because you are going to feel fantastic when you leave. You really will. I guarantee it. The way it's going to turn into money for you, and the question you have to ask yourself is, how can I turn what I learned today into money for me and my business? Well, it's going to be mind-numbing discipline in two key areas, in only two. One is intellectual, showing up or being on the live stream absolutely every single month, once a month, that's it, once a month, and then the implementation or the application is once a week. We have mastermind groups that meet on the phone in 30-minute segments that will absolutely change your life. Or meet live with a coffee connection weekly, and you have to have at least two buddies, two partners from today who participate with you today where you hold one another accountable. You have to do it. You have to do both to make it happen, to achieve what you set out today to achieve. To ensure each participant has rock-solid follow-through, we have a system for that. Go to www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/register, and we will assist you in having strong follow-through with what you learn. Does everyone have what we call the fourfold? The fourfold has 14 different panels which you will be able to visually see and take home with you. On panel 6, please write down your biggest challenge, and then as you work through today, write down any ideas you have for solutions. Do not leave here today without having very specific solutions you will commit to do over the next 30 days with at least two other buddies from today's event. So, the topic today, and we have 12 topics every single year. Panel 5 on the fourfold are the same topics each and every year. Your MC or host will share with you the specific topic for today. With each topic, each month, at this event, we have 7 segments. Segment 1 is speed networking, which will be done at each individual location. You'll share your name, your company, your organization, what you would like to accomplish today, your biggest challenge, and your elevator speech. Everyone will break up into groups of 4 individuals, and each person will have 3 minutes to share these 5 things with others in the group. Once everyone has shared, then you will form new groups and do the same thing again. You keep doing this until your MC or host shares it's time to do something else. Segment 2 will be wins and biggest challenges, which is panel 6 on the fourfold. And the MC or host for each location will take 10 minutes to have local groups share their wins from last month's event and or your biggest challenges. Segments 3, 4, and 5 are the 3 elements to the BOS, the Business Operating System, which is panel 7, 8, and 9 of the fourfold. The BOS, Business Operating System, is the engine that runs our business. We earn the money we earn, work the hours we work, we have the stress we do or do not have due to our BOS. And the first element to our BOS, our engine, is the DNA for people, or personality masteries. The second segment is DNA for business, and the third segment is DNA for life. Segment 3, panel 10 on the fourfold, the DNA for people, is personality masteries. We can learn how to identify someone's personality in 15 seconds, and once we know someone's personality, we know their strengths, their weaknesses, what they like, don't like, why they will or won't work with us. We even know if they are married, probably the type of person they're married to, the strengths and weaknesses within their marriage. Yeah, pretty much amazing stuff. Imagine having a system that is so powerful that it will help you increase the leads your business receives, help you convert more leads faster, and obtain more referrals. In segment 4, panel 11 on the fourfold, the DNA for business, this is what we call the 530 grid. There are 5 areas in one's businesses. Area 1, marketing. How do we generate more and better leads? Area 2, pre-sales. How do we convert more leads to clients? Area 3, the sale. How do we convert leads faster? Area 4, servicing. How do we service our clients in the most amazing way where they refer everyone they know to us? And Area 5, client for life, where our clients become our partners and we start to work with all the spheres of influence they are connected with. In segment 5, panel 12 on the fourfold, the DNA for life. This is natural laws. Natural laws govern all that we do. In many ways, it's the hardest of the 3 DNAs to teach, to learn. There are over 500 natural laws which govern our business, our income, and really every area of life. One of those natural laws is the cluster principle. The cluster principle states that it's not unusual that someone making a buying or selling decision will know between 3 and 9 other people over the next 6 to 12 months who are making a similar buying decision as our prospect or client. Imagine what would happen with our business if we had every prospect referring us 2 or 3 or even more additional prospects. Yes, our businesses would double each and every year, and that's just one of the over 500 natural laws applied through our BOS, our engine. Again, BOS consists of DNA for people, DNA for business, and DNA for life. And it's the engine that runs our business, organization, and depending on how good it is, all the money we're going to earn, the time we're going to have, the stress and the life balance you're going to have or don't have. Segment 6 is Q&A, and that can be done either at your local level or it can be done through the video stream. That's up to your local MC or host because we're going to hit you with a lot of information today, and I hope you're ready, but this will give you a little opportunity to do decompressing. In segment 7, great things are going to happen next month, and we'll all come back together again as we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. So absolutely everything we do today will be focused on the topic for the month, which will be shared with you in just a minute. Are we clear? Do we understand what we will be accomplishing today, or at least a big picture perspective?
Wow, that was an exciting video, wasn't it? I mean, thank you so much for joining us today at Mastermind Seminars Live. Man, this is amazing. Why is it amazing? He's saying, who is this guy? What is this thing all about? What was that video about? You know, I'm glad you're thinking those things because I'm thinking the same thing. Who are we and what are we here for? Folks, this is Mastermind Seminars Live, and if you joined us before, you're in for a ride. It's going to be even better than last month. We've been doing this for 5 years, and we go through a 12-month system. So the first month was value of installing systems. The second month is once we have an idea of why that's important, the next thing is generating more and better leads. And once we start generating more and better leads, it leads us to converting more prospects to clients and then converting prospects faster. This month, we're now in month 5 of year 5, and it is generating a large quantity of referrals. Why is that so important? Well, you can do it great with 2 or 3 people and convert them on a high level. The fact is that it may not generate a whole lot of business for you. It may not give you a whole lot of time. It may not help you be able to reduce stress and have better life balance. We have to do it with a large number of people, and it takes a lot of bandwidth, and it's worth it, though. So as we come today, what's your biggest challenge? What is the biggest challenge you're currently facing in any area of your business? And if you could get help with anything in your life, what would you love to get help on? That's what Mastermind Seminars is all about. It's helping you develop your own BOS. And what's that? It's a business operating system, which is the engine that runs our business. We earn the money we earn, work the hours we work, have the stress and life balance we do or do not have as a result of the engine that is running our business. So again, today we're going to be talking about generating a large quantity of referrals. So there's a 7-step process to what we do today. We do the same thing every month. In terms of the 7 steps that we do on the Mastermind Seminar call, and that pertains to the topic of the month. So again, it's generating a large quantity of referrals. The first segment we're going to have today is networking. It's speed networking, unlike any networking you've ever had before in your life. And Mark's going to be doing that, and I'm excited to see what he has for us. We're going to be talking about wins and biggest challenges. Those are the things that have worked. Those are the things that don't work. Why don't they work? Maybe we don't work, but we're going to find that out. Then we're getting into the BOS. Again, the DNA for people, the DNA for business, and the DNA for life. The video went over it, and this is just a kind of a recap. We're going to be talking about personality masteries, the 530 grid, and natural laws. Then our sixth segment is Q&A. Why is that important? Well, if you don't feel like you've taken a drink out of a fire hose, you're either not paying attention or we're not doing a great job of doing that. I think it's going to be a fantastic time today. I know it's going to be a fantastic time. You're going to get a lot out of it. Seventh segment is what? Great things that are going to happen next month. So we're going to jump right into it. Mark Boersma is the president of Synergy Solutions. He's an international speaker and author, and he is he's got some amazing ideas that I think more than anything are going to help you make more money and do it in less time. And I believe that the networking, the speed networking, is going to help you generate a large quantity of referrals in a short period of time. So I'd like to invite Mark Boersma to come on. Mark, take it away and take care of us here with speed networking.
It's interesting. Thanks so much, Kevin. What a privilege to be on again this month. And it's interesting because there's an event coming up next week in Indiana. And if you, if you're able to participate in that, I encourage you to do so. Because the speed networking there's a number of different ways that speed networking can be done. And Jennifer Tibbs, she's going to be doing it like it's never been done before. And so there's many ways you can do it. The foundation is you bring everybody together. You have them answer, the action card. And so if we look at the action card, if everybody has the action card filled out. So you look at this and you say, okay, and you make copies for everybody else. So you fill this out for yourself, and then you go ahead and make, 30, 40, 50, 300 copies, whatever, and you give your action card, a copy of your action card to everybody else. You sit down with 7 people around a table, and if you know how to use the action card, it'll be insane. People know your strengths, weaknesses, what you like, what you don't, turns you on, turns you off. If you're married, who you're married to, conflict marriage, they'll know what your wow income goal, they'll know where your challenges are, they know what you want to change. You might say, well, I don't want to be that vulnerable. Like that, I don't know, Mark, that feels really uncomfortable. Well, I'm just telling you, that is going to, you want to have an experience that you've never had before, well, then you're going to have to do something that's uncomfortable and you've never felt before. In the book, You Are the Placebo, Making Your Mind Matter, it says usually when people step into the river of change, that void between the old self and the new self is so uncomfortable that they immediately slip back into being their old selves again. They unconsciously think, this doesn't feel right, I'm uncomfortable, or I don't feel so good. The moment they accept that thought or auto-suggestion and become suggestible to their own thoughts, they will unconsciously make the same old choices again that will keep the progression of the same old habitual behaviors to create the same experiences that automatically endorse the same emotions and feelings. And then they say to themselves, this feels right, but what they really mean is it feels familiar. And so you want a different experience, you've got to take a different approach, and you've got to take some risk. And it's amazing what will happen. So that's one way to do it. But today we're going to be talking about taking it to another whole dimension, one that I've been working on for decades. I can't even tell you how much time, energy, resources have been invested into it. And so go to www.personalitymasteries.com. That's www.personalitymasteries.com. And this thing will blow your mind. It's in beta right now, so you can test it. It's not perfect. There's still a whole lot of things that they're doing. I'd encourage you to go ahead and contribute to it. It's a free mobile app. Go to the top and just hit, overview. And then you can learn about the pilot testing or take your personality. And it's amazing what's going to happen, with this. So it's really simple. Which of these 4 shapes do you like the most? First, second, third, and fourth. And then which of the 4 things cause you the most frustration? And then there's videos that come up. In this first level, I've done the videos myself, so they're going to show me, but you can put your own videos. So Kevin could come up with 12 videos on himself. And he could then, when he introduces the person, so there's a stewardship of our lives. We're doing some amazing things in C-level, unbelievable. If you want to find out more about that, you can go to www.dna4success.com, and then you can go to mastermind groups and then learn to host. So how do you host a coffee connection, or how do you host a virtual group? How do you participate? How do you learn to do the things that Kevin and I have been doing and others have been doing for 5 years now? Number 6 is starting a C-level coffee connection group, and there's a whole library of things that are being developed there. But it's stewardship of our 7 T's: time, talent, treasure, trust, truth, temple, and thought. And so when you introduce somebody to this mobile app, and again, this is being worked on, it's not all there, but go in and play with it. When you introduce this mobile app to somebody else, you can say, hey, there's this really cool, literally 15-second personality assessment, and it'll blow your mind what's going to happen. And then they would see Kevin, so he's professional in speaking, he's professional in doing drama, and so he can go ahead and he could produce 12 of these videos, 1 for each of the 4 shapes, 1 for each of the 4 things as it relates to the geo test or pain test, and then 1 for the combined test. So if he shoots 12 short 1 to 2 minute videos, he could be the star of the show. So whoever introduces the person to the app, you will control the videos somebody watch. It's not somebody else controlling it, it's you. It's your relationship. So you can make them fun, you can make them funny. Jennifer, you have some really exciting news about Kennedy, who's a student from your class, your middle school math class. Could you share with us what's going on in Indiana and how she's going to be actually one of the speakers there?
Sure. Well, Kennedy wants to be an entrepreneur when she grows up, and she reached out to me, and I invited her to the seminar and invited her to speak as well, and she's very excited. It's her very first speaking engagement in front of a business crowd, and she also is eager to share how Discovery Learning has really changed the way that she learns and how amazing and powerful it was for her.
Nice. And how old is she?
She's either 13 or 14.
Nice. So when we look at, leveraging, so today's topic is what again? If you go to mastermind-seminars.org, unbelievable website. There's so many things. You can go to live and then 12 topics and get the 12 topics. And so we've gone through, the value of installing systems. If you think you understand the value of installing systems, I think I understand it too. But every month, every year I go through this, I realize, no, I need even more systems. I need to understand it even more. And then generating more and better leads. So if we're not doing these, the challenge is doing one of these every month. That's why the live, in your city, they typically in a city does one of these every, 3 to 6 months. So if you did one every 6 months, you'd have 6 years of material before you get through it, and that's actually ideal. But then you can fill in the gaps every month in between by participating in what we're doing here virtually anywhere on the planet. And so we have to build each month, how do we generate more and better leads? And then creating client relationships for life, how do we extend, how do we expand, how do people learn who you are without you taking time to do so? Anybody have any ideas on that? Like generating a large quantity of referrals, we combine that with speed networking. What if we could do speed networking when we weren't even present?
You get other people to speak for you because
so you get other people to speak for you. Good. How else?
Your product speaks for itself.
Good. How else?
Technology that would already be taken care of to be generated anywhere, anytime.
And what would that look like, Kevin?
Well, I think it looks a lot like the videos, by creating 12 videos that I'm going to do, and you could help me. Anybody could do that, right? The 12
right.
videos?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to do them, and I'm guessing you already have material in place that I could use, or I could tweak in order to make it personal, and then record those 4 or those 12, right?
Right. Yep. Like let's take a case study here, okay? So let's go ahead and actually look at it. So we need 12 topics. 12. We have 12 videos. Anybody have an idea of what the 12 topics might be for the 12 videos that we might have on personalities?
It would be the same 12 topics that they have for the mastermind seminar.
Interesting. Imagine, we're going to be testing this mobile app. It's the first application in Indiana. The first time is special, right? I mean, it's wow, it's the first time. And it's going to be the first time the mobile app is going to be tested live. Okay, with a whole group of people. I don't know that, we could have 12 videos done in a week, but who knows? Maybe we can. I mean, how long does it take to make a 3-minute video?
You can make it happen.
I mean, I'm sorry, how long does it take to make a 3-minute video?
Well, it could be 2 or 3 hours of planning for each, or we could just shoot it live once we have the information. So it wouldn't take that long.
So it could take 3 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. And so I don't know. But imagine if you went ahead, the value of installing systems, which personality might go ahead and, what personality might go ahead and be drawn to that one there?
Driver.
Okay. Anybody else have an idea?
Analytic.
So there could be that could be the video for the analytic. And then, generating more and better leads. That could be the driver. And then we could go ahead and then say converting more prospects to clients. That would be maybe the amiable. Because I was thinking expressive too, but converting prospects faster, that's expressive.
Right.
So these first four, you could say, welcome, you're at the event, how cool is that? And we just did a personality assessment on you. Man, isn't that awesome? And so based on, your test, and then you go into each one of these, you test it out as an analytic. So, the first topic of Mastermind Seminar is value of installing system. Obviously, we're not going to do something unless we see the value of it. So you could take these 4, and there could be a 3-minute video that would be based on their personality that they would like. So each of these 4 topics are going to be liked by a different personality more. And that would be the geo test. Next 4 would be the pain quadrant test. And then the last 4 would be the combined test. So what you would do is you would appeal to the very brain, the chemical makeup of the brain. It would be like literally pumping, like morphine right into the brain. Like it's like, oh my gracious, the high that people would get would be amazing. Because you'd be appealing to their personality, bringing something into this, and what you make that kind of an impact on somebody, and what are they going to do immediately after they go ahead and take the test, watch the video. And you're going to have all the different attendees watching one of the 12 different videos. So they're not all going to get the same. It's customized specifically. It's a unique experience specifically for, and there's 65,536 possible combinations. So it's a unique, specific opportunity to connect with people. And whoever produces those 12 videos, they're going to get to know them. So if it's Kevin that's producing them, they're going to get to know Kevin. And at the end, he can say, oh, by the way, I do, I'm a health insurance broker, and if you're interested. So he does, like it's a, 5-minute at the end, or a 5-second at the end. It's just, boom, this is what it is. Questions on that from anyone?
Yeah, how soon could we start shooting the videos, Mark?
Do you have a smartphone?
I do.
You could do that as soon as you're done with this.
And you have the material that I could start shooting for the first one, which is the value of installing systems.
Well, you've been doing this for 5 years, so you would have all that information in your conscious
Sure.
and subconscious. So
Right.
I would shoot maybe 4 of them.
Okay.
Shoot 4 of them, make it 1 to 3 minutes, whatever. Make them all the same as much as you can. So again, so imagine watching all of the people like in the audience go through and choose the personality. Once they do it, then they're going to go ahead and share it with social media, and they're going to go ahead and send it out to all their Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn contacts, and they're going to say, I am so sorry I didn't invite you to attend today. Or you should have attended. Like, this is what we're learning. Like, go in and take this test. So generating a large quantity of referrals, how do we do that? Like Kevin said, you leverage technology. You let technology do a lot of the lifting. How do you do that? You create something interesting. Like Kevin's not going to lead with some boring topic like I do coaching, or some boring topic like I go ahead and, do insurance. He's going to lead with something of value, the personalities. He's going to then connect with them, bring tremendous wisdom and insight into that person's life. So they're like, I've never experienced anything like, that's amazing. And then at the end, he's going to say, oh, by the way, this is what I do. So now all of a sudden he's get the leveraging. Now he's using all of the people who attend to be able to leverage his gifts, his talents, which he's put in. Does that help, Kevin?
Perfect.
Cool. All right, that's what I got.
Excellent. Wow, that is fantastic. Folks, I hope you understand that anyone can do this. We have a system in place that can help you do it. The information is already there. Mark just showed you the place at Mastermind Seminars Live, where you can go and actually see all the past events that we've done for the networking before the event, wins and biggest challenges, personality masteries, 530 grid, natural laws. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. As excited as I can get here, wins and biggest challenges is what's happening next. But one of the things that I have seen as a huge win is that 5 years ago, Mark had said, and there's just like 12 of us here in a library, and the first time we ever had the value of installing systems was 5 years ago in 5 months. And he said, can you imagine? Just imagine seeing this everywhere in the world, every major city, and then we'd be doing it internationally on every continent. It would be happening every single month, and there'd be such a synergy and a networking, and people's businesses would explode. And those who were here at the beginning, their businesses would really take off because of this. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm thinking it's cool, but the big win is the fact it's happening, folks, and it's been happening for a couple of years, but it's really ramping up, and it's getting faster and faster and faster. We have had the event in Chicago. We've had the event in Cincinnati. We've had the event in Philadelphia. We've had the event in Chicago again. We've had it in Kosovo, which is a country that is only 10 years old, and a lot of the population are just in their 30s, and they're dying for systems, the value of installing systems. We had a team of people to fly over to do that. It is already international. That is a past tense statement, and it's going to continue to become present and future tense. It's going to keep happening. We're going to have it in Indiana, as Mark said, next week. It's going to be phenomenal. Next year, in January or February, we're going to have it in Reno, Nevada with Lee Smith. This thing is taken off. That is a huge win. I mean, DNA for people, DNA for business, DNA for life, and the mobile app helping change people, leveraging each other's businesses to make things happen is just a huge win. It's a huge win. People's lives are intertwined. And it's not just for a day or a minute or whatever or a year. It's for a lifetime, and that's really exciting. So that's one of the major wins that we're having else. What are some of the major wins that you're experiencing in your life? Alan Stein from Tanglewood, would you like to share with us? By the way, Alan is phenomenal at what he does. He's a president of Tanglewood Conservatories. They build multi-million-dollar conservatories all around the world, and these are just amazing places. And he has an amazing team of people that really believe in what they're doing and how they're changing people's lives, and kids at risk, and so many other things. Untangled Minds. I could go on and on, but I want to hear from Alan. What are some of the wins or biggest challenges, Alan, that you're currently facing in any area of your business or life?
Yeah, great question, Kevin. It looks like Alan had to jump off, and so he asked me to go ahead, and if he wasn't able to share those, for me to go ahead and share those on his behalf. And so Alan, one of the most significant wins for Alan and Tanglewood Conservatories is the Kosovo Mastermind Seminar. Alan, huge contributor, financially, resource-wise, 7 T's, time, talents, treasure, trust, truth, temple, thought. He's all in, and he had an amazing win with the Kosovo group. So 4 individuals from the U.S. went over there, and just so excited. There's 3 businesses that are already being helped over there, and mastermind seminars and coffee connection and all of that's connected in. So that's a huge win. Another win that Alan wanted me to share is the discovery learning. And so you might be saying, well, what's discovery learning? And discovery learning is something that Jennifer Tibbs, and she'll probably share something, I'm sure, about, her win as it relates to this. It's bringing arts to the business, business to the arts, education to the arts and business. It's taking science, and it's like combining all the different, like we tend to be incestuous. We tend to be connected just to our own industry, our own thinking. So teachers hang around teachers, and business people hang around, business people, and educators hang around educators, and people in medical hang around medical. Like we don't go ahead and take the best practices. And Rosanna will probably share, given time, about business sense from everyday moms. And it's like all of that's connected. So Alan's coming in from Maryland with 3 people from his company, and they're going to be taking discovery learning in how to enhance and accelerate their culture and to accomplish more in the next 3 months than they have in the last 5 years. Same thing as what Mastermind Seminars, they're on the same trajectory. So that's another win. Another win for Alan wanted me to share is the art, the atomic ripple reaction tree and team. Over 3-4 decades of work have been put into this, and it shows it's designed and engineered, and Alan's got 3 of his team members, Jennifer, Cheryl, and Nicole, that are leading up this culture change. And what they're doing is taking the wins or taking the successes, the gifts of each one of the different employees, team members, and then take those best things and integrate it back in. It goes back into the 530 grid, and then when you expand it out into the leadership, so the culture and the values, the vision, the belief, the do, the give, the legacy, it's connecting all of these pieces. And now Alan's looking forward to the mobile app and how to connect all of that. The Untangled Minds is partnering up with legacy partners to do massive fundraising because there's so many great causes and great needs that are being done. And so they're partnering up to help Emily with Life Masteries Institute raise $700, I think it is $700 for helping kids, rescue kids out of slavery in Pakistan from the brick kiln. So Alan could go, I mean, he said, get as much as you can in, Mark, and being able to share. And so he's got a lot more, but those are the highlights that he wanted me to at least lead with.
That's amazing, and I really appreciate you sharing that on behalf. Do you see the power of the system here, folks? I hope you do. The fact is that Alan already had those questions set up, had already communicated with Mark. He had to jump off, but he didn't just leave anybody hanging here. He actually wrote them down and gave them to Mark, so Mark knew what to share. You can do the same thing in your life. I mean, being able to generate a larger quantity of referrals in even asking other people to step up for you, to delegate something is so powerful. Why? Because now it's not just about Alan, it's not just about Nicole and Cheryl and Jennifer and how the culture is being changed at Tanglewood. It's not only what's happening in Kosovo and the 3 businesses being helped. It's not only Discovery Learning. It's so much more that's happening as well, and it ties back into Mark. You see now Mark is the one that stepped up. So step up for other people. That's a huge win. Thank you for doing that, Mark. Really appreciate it. Is there anyone else who would like to share wins or biggest challenges? We have just a couple minutes left, and we're going to get into our next segment. Any wins or biggest challenges here?
Yeah, I think Kevin
Johnson.
Yeah, Kevin, go ahead.
Just bring on one of my wins this week. Is I brought in one of my, buddies, art buddies. I want to introduce him to the group. Lisa Dixon, come on the line. Lisa.
Hi.
Well, hi,
hey,
Lisa.
Welcome.
Yes, so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So tell us, Lisa, why did you jump on? What did Kevin say that prompted you to come on board the call?
Well, that basically is a structured plan that I could get to help me to move to progress, to achieve the goals that I've been trying to achieve, because I've been trying for years and years, supposedly with mentors that didn't really mentor. And he shared with me that this group would be very different from that I would get the information and structure that I need, that I would be able to have someone that I can communicate with that would listen to me and take what the gifts and talents that I have and help me to use them to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And I found that very appealing.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. That's great. No, I appreciate that. That's amazing. So far, I know we're only about 38 minutes into this thing here, but so far, has this been different than anything else you've been part of? And you could be honest with us and let us know.
Okay, well, I don't understand anything that's going on. I was supposed to, I did my 30 minutes, and I was supposed to, I guess, get an email that Emily was supposed to connect with you, and tell me what my next steps were, but I never got that email, so
We're going to make sure that
I
happens.
don't know what's going on.
No, thank you. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, we want to make sure that happens for you. And we're going to make sure to push that through and make sure that happens. Thank you so much for being honest. That's important. We're excited to have you here. And so keep listening, keep writing down notes and how to generate a large quantity of referrals here. Hey, Kevin, good job of inviting your friend to come and join us here today. Is there a win or a biggest challenge you'd like to share?
One of my biggest challenges has been to connect with somebody in my field that I can share my story with so that it can be made into a TV show. And I'm in the process of, I've been applying. There's going to be a show that's shooting next week in Charleston, South Carolina, that has somebody that I've kind of idolized in the business. And by submitting roles, in fact, it's kind of interesting, while we're on the call, a role just came up to be a stand-in for a particular scene or something. And so a stand-in is somebody that's kind of close to the main stars of the show. They're literally just they know them. They stand in while the real star's out BSing somewhere, or and then they take stand in.
Sure.
Team A go away, or Team B go away. Team A, real stars get in here, and so you get a relationship with those main characters or main actors. And so that's Mark has helped me with when I approach these people, what actually to say to them, to actually get them to say, "Wow, who are you?"
Excellent. That's great.
The question is
Kevin,
that. Yeah.
We really appreciate you being on the call. Thank you for sharing that. That's exciting and that's fascinating. We're going to see how that continues to play out in the weeks and the months to come, and we wish you the best of success with that. Thank you so much for everybody that shared. We're going to move on for time's sake here into our next segment. That's our BOS, which is the Business Operating System. Thanks, Kev. It's going to be the Personality Masteries, the 530 Grid, and the Natural Laws. So for the first one that we have is going to be Personality Masteries, which is the DNA for people. The DNA for people is fascinating. Why is that? Because we look at 4 basic personality types and how this relates to generating a large quantity of referrals. So you'll see that there's 4 shapes up there. Which of the 4 shapes would you tend to be the most? Is it the cube, the pyramid, the wavy line, or the ball? Again, the cube, the pyramid, the wavy line, or the ball. If you pick the cube, you're the analytic. What's the analytic? The analytic crosses their T's and dots their I's, and that's their strength. What's their weakness? Well, their weakness is that they cross their T's and they dot their I's. You see, our greatest strength is our greatest weakness. Our greatest weakness is our greatest strength, misapplied. And the great thing about the analytic is that they understand how to create systems, so they understand to look at systems that can generate a large quantity of referrals. Why? So that in doing so, that it's going to help make everything go in orderly, and it's going to be able to make sure that you can continue to do this on a regular basis. So it's really important as we look at generating a large quantity of referrals that we have the analytic to help us do that. The second phase is, maybe you picked the pyramid. The pyramid is the driver. The driver's the person that just takes off and going. They got view from 30,000 feet. They got something they got to achieve. We're going to move fast. We're going to move now. And that's your greatest strength, is that you're going to move fast. One of your greatest weaknesses is that you're going to move fast and run over some people in the process. And it's hard because, see, the driver wants to move fast, and they want to move fast now. They want to move fast with people, where the analytic wants to move slow with information, so that there's a conflict. But you need both. Why? Because if you're not understanding the value of systems, you could be going off in 100 different directions. You may not actually get to where you need to actually be. So you have the analytic, you have the driver. So the driver is great because we need to move things forward and we need to move it fast, but we also need to know how this is going to work. and that's the analytic. The third personality, maybe you pick the wavy line. The wavy line is the person that loves to have fun, loves to hang out, loves to talk, loves to enjoy making things happen, has a million ideas. And the greatest weakness is that they like to have fun and they have a million ideas. They may have a hard time actually following through on anything. That's why we need the analytic and the driver. The driver's going to move things forward. The analytic is going to do it in an orderly fashion and in a way that it can actually function. But the expressive, maybe you're the expressive because, well, you're generating a large quantity of referrals. Well, man, that's fantastic. We're gonna just meet as many people as we can. We love meeting people. We love hanging out, but we need a system in place in order to help follow through with those. I'm more of the expressive in my marriage and in my circles, but my wife helps me follow through on the analytic side, and that's really important that we're able to do both. So the expressive has fun and is enjoying people, moves fast with people, and again, I'm going to go back to the analytic. They move fast. Again, they move slow with information, and the driver moves fast with information. The expressive moves fast with people. And again, as an expressive, sometimes I move a little faster than I need to. But then we have the amiable, and that's the ball. The ball is the person that loves to hang out, wants to just make sure everybody feels included, make sure that you're taken care of, make sure that everybody works together as a team. These people are great as the glue. As you're generating a large quantity of referrals, they want to make sure that everybody is taken care of in an orderly fashion. So the expressive is going to want to move fast with people, but the amiable is going to want to move slow with people to make sure that they're okay. You see, you need all four personalities functioning in order to make it happen. The other side of the coin is not just the DNA for people, but the thing that causes us the most frustration. When the chips are down and we're trying to generate a large quantity of referrals, what's the thing that causes us the most frustration? Is it things being out of order, things being out of control, things that are boring and not fun, or conflict with other people? Again, order, things that are out of order, things that are out of control, things that are boring and not fun, or conflict with other people. Well, again, as we're generating a large quantity of referrals, we need to understand that there's going to be people on our team that if we're doing things out of order, they are not on board. So if you're dealing with somebody who isn't analytic, it's really important to do things in an orderly fashion. Go to step one, make sure they're on board with step one. Go to step two, make sure they're on board with step two. Don't go to step 3 and 5 and 12 because it's fun or it's exciting or it's going to move us faster if people are not on board. If things are out of control as we generate a large quantity of referrals, for some people that's okay. Other people are not going to be fine with that. They want to make sure that's why it's important to have a system in place as you're generating a large quantity of referrals. But the other thing too is we make sure that it's not we want to make sure that it's not boring and that it's fun, because as we're generating that, it creates a lot of speed. It creates a lot of opportunity in generating large quantities of referrals. Because when you know a great example of this, I know, is Lee Smith in Reno, Nevada. She has a couple of connections out there where it is exciting. People are excited to be part of it. She's networking in other networking events, inviting them to hers, and they're seeing that it's completely different than anything else they've ever been part of. So she's generating a large quantity of referrals. The other aspect of doing all of these is conflict with other people. Understand, as you're generating large quantities of referrals, you're going to have conflict with people. It's how you deal with it. It's how you take care of that. That's why it's important when you talk to people and meet people for the first time, is that you're introducing them to the geo-pain quadrant, which again is the 4 shapes and then the things that are causing people the most frustration. So that's how the personalities and the pain quadrant develop our understanding of generating large quantities of referrals. I'm going to pause now for 2 minutes of questions. Does anybody have questions when it comes to how the DNA for people, which is personality mastery, helps us generate large quantities of referrals? And I'll just open that up.
Kevin, when you're asking the questions of the shapes and their frustration level, do you find that people are curious about what the questions are doing, and they're maybe afraid to answer the question?
Yeah, sometimes I think it's also important about how you ask the question. I mean, it's not the first question I ask somebody I've met for the first time. It's, hi, your name is Rob. Hi, which shape do you like, the cube, a pyramid, a wavy line, or a ball? That would not be the first thing I'd want to ask them, but I'd want to find out about who they are, asking them their biggest challenge, asking them what they'd love help on. And then from there, I think it's important to be able to, because there's a system, and following the system is important. Asking the biggest challenge first really gets them into a deeper level. They realize that you care. And then when you ask what they'd love to get help on anything, you're again showing that you care, that you're really talking about their business. So far, you haven't talked about your business, what you do, how you do it. And you're not trying to sell them. Getting into that is saying, hey, I'm curious, just so I know how to help you in these two areas. There's a quick test that's kind of fun. I'm just curious, which shapes do you like the most? Well, they understand when it's connected with how it can help them in some way, even though they don't understand it. I think people are more apt to respond to you. Does that help or not so much?
Yeah, I think it does. So yeah, I think it's good to kind of give them an idea that maybe this isn't the ordinary type of thing to do, but it's something fun for both of you. So kind of throw them in maybe to make it a fun experience for them and for you.
Right, and it's a great way to say it. It's to say it's kind of out of the ordinary. Sometimes if you start talking to somebody who's maybe a little more, maybe a little shyer or whatever, maybe they don't know why you're asking, but by saying, it's kind of out of the ordinary, but I'm really curious and it's kind of fun, and they kind of draws them in. So yeah, I hope that helps. Well, we're going to move on to the next segment here. Again, thanks for your questions. The next segment that we're going to move into is now going to be the DNA for business. The DNA for business is the 530 grid. It is the 5 areas of marketing: pre-sales, the sales, servicing, and client for life. And then there's going to be 6 levels of proficiency, levels 1 through 6. And so we're gonna have Rosanna, and Rosanna heads up an amazing group of people. She has an amazing women's call, and she does that on Tuesdays, and that is a huge breakthrough for a lot of women and how they're able to be empowered. And the other aspect of what Rosanna does is business sense from an everyday house mom and housewife. And that is, when Rosanna and I met her 5 years ago, and when she first started, she goes, well, what do I have to offer? She has a lot to offer because business is a lot like raising children. She's raised 7 children. She has 5 grandchildren, and she has a lot of business sense, everyday common business sense for people in every aspect of their lives, whether it's family or business. But since we're talking about business, we're going to have her perspective, which is unique and exciting, on how it's going to help us understand generating large quantities of referrals. Rosanna, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. So when you think of generating large quantity of referrals, what do you think about? What is a referral? Does anybody understand what a referral is? Well, in business, things are simple, but they can be complex at the same time. We have a system that we have worked on called the 530 grid. And if you were looking at the screen, you'll see that we have what we call DNA for business, called the 530 grid. And it's kind of a simple but complex system to follow. And so I'm going to kind of just go through it as quickly and as simple as I can, but still go ahead and let you know that this can be worked for almost anything you do. So 530 grid, as you see on the box in the fourfold, is a system that can help any business from a lemonade stand to a Fortune 500 company. It can help you run a business to getting people to donate to nonprofit organizations. When looking at the generating a large quantity of referrals, we need to know that what a referral is and how to get a referral. We want systems that work, and it can be used for anything. And if you look at the 530 grid, there's 5 areas. There's the marketing, there's the pre-sales, the sales, the servicing, and the client for life. And each of these areas are important in the BOS system. on what you're doing. With each of these 5 areas, there are 6 boxes, and they have a distinct direction to help you see what you need to do to make sure that your pipeline is working properly. And if you're not sure, well, what's a pipeline? It's each of those areas are kind of like a pipe. And if they're not working properly and they're clogged, things back up. In plumbing, if you don't have a certain pipe cleaned out properly, it's going to come, back into your tub or something like that. And it's not real fun. And as some people tend to go ahead and call somebody else in to help them when those type of things happen. But I'm just saying that if you have a pipeline in business, you want to make sure that everything is cleared out and ready and moving in the right direction, and they're all flowing properly. So if you look closely, you'll see numbers in the boxes, and these numbers will help you follow the system. So when you go to do a dot-to-dot picture, a child does a dot-to-dot picture, they go from 1 to 2 to 3 or A to B to C. Well, in this case, we're doing the numbers, and so we go 1 to 2 to 3. So some of the stuff, same of the stuff is in the BOSS system is just like that. So we have box 1 is identify the targets, who you're going to attract for a business or nonprofit. And after you have your targets, there's a message that you'd like to send. So I'm kind of just going over the first 6 boxes just because maybe you haven't been in the other seminars and you're not quite sure what, we're talking about. So I'll go over there quickly, and then I will show you where those can lead into referrals. So after you have your targets, there's a message you'd like to send. It's box 2, develop and deliver a message. Well, now we have the targets, and it's the people we want to attract, and we have the message, what the people you want to know. And now we have to keep track of all this. We go down to box 3, and it tracks 100% of your leads. That means anyone who has responded to your message, email, postcard, phone call, etc. And I say anyone, I mean negative and positive responses, because that is 100% of your leads. A lead is a response. If they've paid any attention to what you're saying, keep in mind that a negative response may need a positive one down the road, and they need to, help you know what you need to fix or change. You need to have a system to keep track of everyone and you come in contact regarding the business or your nonprofit, so you don't lose opportunities or names along the way. It can be a spreadsheet or CRM system. Some people might not know what that is. It's customer relation management. Check with somebody that might be able to help you on that. But a spreadsheet works too, so something simple. If you're on a roll, now what do? Well, you got to ask key questions of your leads and find out what, like Kevin was saying, you need to find out the biggest challenge. You need to find out what it is that they're looking for. What would they like to change? What would they love to help on? A little bit about their personality. So you ask those questions. Those are key questions to get to help them from their need to what you might be able to offer them. But you can't offer them something without examination. So asking the questions is an examination. You wouldn't want to go to a doctor and have them say, oh, here's the pill, and not find out exactly what you need. You can't just do that. That would be malpractice. In business, it's the same way. You don't want to do business malpractice. So we've got the questions, and we're moving into the areas of connecting with the people. So we do things like call them or touch base with them. So we're constantly working to get our clients on base. And so once we've got the client, we're going to move down to where it says group people and messages together. We got the client. We're getting them together. We're keeping track of them. We're making the client happy. We've got them on board. Now what? That's where we are right now, is getting those referrals. So we're moving down to area 4, servicing, which is box 7, ask for referral. We have a client, and now we're moving into the servicing area. We've made money, we're servicing them, and they're happy. We need more clients, so we can't just live on one client. So, but we're getting busy here. We don't have the energy and the time that we started when we were starting our business. we need help. So how do we do that? And so getting our client to be happy and getting their, their ideas of people they know that are in, looking for the same thing that they were looking for, bringing those people in, and you don't have to do all the work then. You can talk to the person. Now you still have to go back and make sure that you're giving them the right solution. So yes, you will need to ask them the key questions and go back through the boxes that I just talked about. So you're not skipping areas, but you don't have to go ahead and do all the marketing because you got your clients working for you. So that's how you can get those large quantity referrals. Each client could know 10, 15 other people that want the same thing. And those people know somebody, and those people know somebody. And so I think if you realize that you don't have to do all the work, it might help you when it comes to bringing in those referrals. So having that, you've got your referrals. What are you going to do? Go back through the boxes. You want to make sure you're tracking those referrals. If someone gives you a referral, you don't want to drop that. Jane wants a deck put on. Uh-oh, did I get the information about Jane? Do I have her email? Do I have her phone number? Did I call her? So you have to make sure you're tracking those leads. You don't want to skip that, because if you do, all of a sudden, all that work that you did just fell by the wayside. One lead could cost you a lot of money lost if you don't follow up. And you could actually lose the client you had originally because they're like, well, wait a minute, you didn't follow up with Jane. That was really, they really know me and they trust me, and you didn't follow up. That could cause some trouble. So you want to make sure that you're always following up and touching base with the new people that you have. So track those leads again. So this box, the 530 grid, is very helpful in realizing what you need to do. Don't skip steps. Don't go and think you've got it all figured out just because you made it through the first time. You want to make sure you're going back through and touching base and giving those the new leads just as much attention as you gave the first client you have. So that is where I am at right now in generating a large quantity of referrals. And if anyone else has something to add to that, feel free. You're on the board.
Wow, thank you so much, Rosanna. That was outstanding. I really appreciate how you took the 530 grid and tied it into how to actually make it work. Don't skip steps. Don't think you got to figure it out. Be humble and ask questions. Elise, let me ask you: do you have any questions here for Rosanna and generating large quantities of referrals and how it relates to the DNA for business?
Sure. I guess first question comes to mind. In using the 530 grid, how can we take that outline and be able to look at our current clients and figure out which would be the best ones or would have the highest probability of giving us referrals?
I think I would say it would be making sure that we are servicing them and asking them questions, going back to the very beginning of making sure that we're asking the questions, and the key questions is a really good one. So there are key questions to get the client, but there's also key questions to making sure the client's happy. A 1 to 10, how happy are you with this product? Or 1 to 10, how happy are you with their coaching? Or 1 to 10, how happy are you in whatever you're doing? So you want to make sure that you're checking with the client on a regular basis, if that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Excellent. We're going to move into our next segment. Thanks again, Rosanna. Really appreciate that. We're moving into our last segment of the BOS system, and that is the natural laws. The natural laws, there's been 500 that have been discovered, and as we continue to dial into how it's going to help generate large quantities of referrals, I'll turn it over to Mark again, and take it away, Mark.
Thanks, Kevin. So when we look at the boss, as Kevin has shared, there's 3 elements to the boss: the DNA for people, personality, masteries; the DNA for business, the 530 grid; and the DNA for life, the natural laws. There are 4 major types of personalities. There's 5 areas within business, and then there's 3 major energies: see, think, and do. And so there's an unbelievable white paper that's being developed right now on see, and being able to, how do we see things that we can't see, and how do we help other people to do that? It's called a seer, or some will call it a wizard, where you're seeing something like you can see into the future. And how do we, what we see, how do we think properly, and then how do we do? Sometimes we see, think, and do. Sometimes we think, see, and then do. Sometimes we do, think, and see. So there's different combinations of these that come together. So when we look at how do you generate more referrals, how do you generate a referral machine, it's blending all 3 of these DNAs together. So for example, just one of the natural laws is going to be the cluster principle. And so the cluster principle states that individuals that are making buying or selling decisions on average will know between 3 and 9 other people making those same type of buying or selling decisions. First-time home buyers, no other first-time home buyers. People who buy investment property, no other people buying investment property. Even people who are buying living room furniture, no other people buying living room furniture. People having kids, no other people. People that are downsizing because their kids are graduating. Even when you look at a neighborhood, you know, somebody that's changing roofing on their house, all of a sudden all the houses around them they have roofing. So people tend to move in clusters. So the rule, if the natural law states that, you know, every prospect that we get is going to know between 3 and 9 other prospects, how come our businesses are not doubling or tripling each year? Like, it would make sense. Like, every one of your prospects could refer you between 3 and 9 other people. Then why are my businesses not doubling or tripling every year? So it's like having an oil well or a gold mine or a diamond mine in your backyard. If you don't know the oil's there, if you don't see, okay, that it's there, you just don't know it. But if you don't see it, you can't do anything with it. Or if you do see it, but you don't know how to think through it, like you don't know how to get the oil out of it. You don't have the knowledge base. You don't have, you don't know how to put together the resources. What resources are needed? How do I put those together? And if you actually don't do it, well, then the oil doesn't do any good. Understanding that all of our prospects know other people, I mean, that's great head knowledge-wise, but that's not going to grow our business. Now, this is where, like, we have 10 minutes, right? I mean, what can you learn in 10 minutes? And so, buckle your seat belts, on, because this is where we're going to go from a natural law to supernatural laws. And I'm reluctant to dive in because it goes so fast. But I'm going to. And so talk to your, certified action vision coach, talk to people in your coffee connection, your mastermind group to assist you. So watch what you do. So when we look at box 12 of the 530 grid, it's feed your successes back in. So people are followers by and large. They want to follow other people. And so what we do is take the successes from our current clients, and yes, we want to take those successes and we want to feed those back into our marketing message. Yes, we want to do that for sure, okay? But is that the only thing we want to do? No, it's not. See, we want to feed those successes back into developing a strategic strike that's going to touch people, up to 10 times. We actually want to take those successes back into how do you present, solutions? We want to take those back into how do you ask questions? But in addition to that, we want to be able to actually take those successes and feed those back into our entire customer base. So if you had 100 clients, probably 10% or maybe 3% or maybe even 1 out of 100 is going to be the one that has the majority, going to refer you the most people. Why are they referring you the most people? Well, it's something going on in their head. There's something they think. See, they're seeing something different or they're thinking different. And so they think in a different way. What if you could clone that way of thinking? And that's really what great coaching, that's really what systems like the Action Vision system is designed to do, is how do you capture these successes? How do you plug that into a system? And then how do you have that system continue to reproduce itself over and over again? So when we start combining these different boxes, when we start bringing these things together, when we blend in based on personalities, like each one of the different personalities are going to refer people for a very different reason. So understanding when we take personality masteries and blend it into it, we know that the analytic is going to refer people like they're architects, engineers, accountants. So they tend to cluster together. They're often a pain, honestly, to have clients because they're so picky. Everything, like our systems, you can't make one little mistake. If you make one little mistake, they're not going to refer people. Well, it's simple. Don't make one little mistake. When you do, they will refer you so many people, it's insane. The driver, they're more concerned about the big picture. They don't actually have to like you. If you can help them achieve their goals, they're going to refer business to you, and a lot of it, and it's going to be powerful business. Often the drivers are going to be CEO, C-level, CEO, CFO, CIO, COO. So they're going to be owners of companies, or they're going to be leaders, and they influence a lot of people. The expressive is going to refer business to you because it's fun. Very, very different than the analytic and driver personality. And so they're going to refer it because it's fun, and they can refer a ton of people to you as well because everybody loves them. They're fun. They have parties. They know a lot of people. They're just fun and outgoing people, so they can refer a lot of people to you, but it'll be for very different reasons. The amiable personality, they can refer a lot of business. They, in many ways, have more influence because they're a chameleon. They can influence everybody around them. They can move people to work with you, and people don't even know they're being used. They don't even know they're being leveraged. They don't even know. It's for everybody's benefit. It's all good. So each of the four personalities, understanding the four personalities, going through Legacy Partners and Life Masteries online course and Personality Masteries will help to give you the basic understanding on how to think. Getting one-on-one coaching and being part of masterminds will help you to see, and that see and thinking will lead to doing. So again, I know that there was a lot there, multiple systems, all integrated together to form a whole that is far more powerful than any one of the sum of the parts, from good to great. All right, Kevin, that's what I've got.
Wow, that's outstanding. Mark, you had mentioned something. I had a question for you, is that you had mentioned you're working on or somebody is working in the system on a white paper of seeing things that we don't see, being a seer, being a wizard. And so as we are learning how to generate a large quantity of referrals, what's one or two steps we can take in order to see things, because what you had said about the personalities was huge, is if I'm looking for architects or CPAs or engineers, I should talk to somebody who's an analytic because they hang out with other people. If I want C-level, then I got to find the drivers. But is that part of seeing, or is that just basic understanding of DNA for people? So the question is, how do we see what quantities of when we're generating large quantities of referrals? How do we see better, faster in order to make that happen?
Yeah, great question, Kevin. It's what's called fuzzy logic. It's the right and the left hemisphere of your brain thinks in a very different way. It's linear. So a lot of time, most of the time, people that are left brain, they're not. So if somebody thinks in a linear fashion, they have a harder time thinking big picture. If somebody thinks big picture, they have a harder time thinking linear. And so there's pros and cons. There's a number. I think making sure that I give a real clear. Make sure that one is you're part of a weekly mastermind group that meets for at least a half an hour. It could be Coffee Connection live locally. You can start one, mycoffeeconnection.org. That's mycoffeeconnection.org. Or you can participate in a virtual one. Either one, both are great. A lot of people do both, which is, I think, a smart thing to do. Some other resources is DNA for Life -laws. And then spreading your roots, create passive income. There's a group of people that are getting together on a weekly basis to clone you, to take your IP, your story. And you can find more out about membership of that group. It's very inexpensive to do. It's worth its weight in gold. So you can find out things there. There's already 2 groups that are going. You can set up your own group. You can participate and have your own group going on. So Business Sense from Everyday Moms, Discovery Learning. There's Business Cloned. There's C-Level. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the works. The other thing, Kevin, is if you go to Free Cool Stuff and go to White Paper Library, and then go to Phase 1, 5 life-changing white papers. So the first thing, Kevin, you're familiar with this, what's in it for me? So it's the concept of selfless selfishness. It's learning to think differently. Like it's okay to be selfish as long as we understand selflessness. A lot of people who think they're selfless are really not. They're selfish. And that's important to understand that we're gaining benefit, other people are. And then the next white paper is consistency and committed. See, Kevin, most people want to double their income. They want to make more money. They want to work less hours. They want to have less stress. They want to, have greater life balance. They want to see greater success in life, but they don't know. Nobody's coaching or mentoring them. Nobody's assisting them in learning how to think differently. And so consistent and commitment equals success. If you ask people, are you consistent in commitment 1 to 10, most people say, yeah, I'm really consistent, committed. In their own dimension, that's true. So what this is helping somebody do is to jump to that new dimension, we have to be more consistent and committed. Why would we want to be more consistent? That's hard work. That's a pain. That's sacrifice. That's not easy to do. Well, if our WIFM is large enough, then we're willing to work harder. We think we're driven and disciplined, but not enough, not to get where we want to go. We think we're clear in our communication, but we're not nearly as well as we should be, or success through self-vaporization. We think we're really hard on ourselves. We think somebody else is hard on us, and it's because we've never had somebody that's at a higher dimension. And then the next piece is how to be the best student in the world. So most people think, oh, I'm a really good student. They're not. They are in their own dimension, in their own spheres of influence. But you get into a bigger pond, you can think you're a big fish. I'm a big fish. Well, in your pond you are, but in a bigger pond, you're just like a tadpole. Like you're a minnow. So I think it's helping, Kevin, people to learn to think in a very different way than it seems like most of us human beings are kind of programmed, or we choose to think, and learning how to do that. And this is a great process for doing that. Does that answer your question, Kevin?
Absolutely, it does. Thank you so much. And by the way, for everybody that's listening to the live broadcast here, these are being recorded. Understand these will be in the MVP team, which is just a phenomenal team of people that puts a lot of the videos together and a lot of the content on the websites together. They're going to be putting together these videos, and those are going to be downloaded onto the website so you can actually see them, go back and refer to them, take notes, but more importantly, put things into action. Taking one thing, not taking any notes, and actually putting one thing into action is so much more important than memorizing what anyone had said here today, but it is important to know the process that we take when we take those steps. So thank you. Thank you so much, Rosanna. Thank you so much, Mark, Elise, and Alan. I know he had to jump off, but I want to thank him too for all the questions. We're going to move into the next segment, which is Q&A. If you think you've taken a drink out of a fire hose, guess what? You have. So we're going to open it up. Are there any questions for any of the speakers? Personality mastery, 530 grid, natural laws that people have as we move forward into our Q&A.
Yeah, I have a question. So for those personalities who might really struggle to ask for referrals, are there any tips to help them really push and step out of their comfort zone or feel less salesy in doing that process?
Yeah, that's a great question, Elise. I think one of the main things is understanding that there's a system and you need to follow the system. As we follow the system, there's a pattern for success. So the first question I'm going to ask them is being able to, what their biggest challenge is, and then what they'd love help on. Those are questions that anybody can answer, and most people don't ask. So you've differentiated yourself already. So what's coming up on the screen right here is a 5-part system for asking for referrals. You're going to educate them. Successful people know 3 to 9 other people that are successful, and that's the cluster principle. You're asking a broad base. Those are looking for 6 to 12 month period of time. And then the importance and value you place on your referral. That's how you educate people and educate yourself. When you ask them for referrals, you're asking for specific areas within their referrals to help them out. People you work with, family members, neighbors, coworkers, church, community, or other. And then there's a great question, great script that's already set up. Trust the system. Learn, rehearse this script. Actually, by rehearsing a script over and over and over again, you're going to sound less scripty, if that's a word. So you can say, at least, what I found is that successful people like yourself tend to know between 3 and 9 other successful people. And we call this the cluster principle, who over the next 6 to 12 months may be in need of any of my products and services. So at least over 96% of my business comes directly from referrals. And I was wondering if I could be all right for myself and my team to periodically ask you for referrals. Would that be okay? And that's it. That's it. Is that something do you think you could do?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
And then, and that's just one thing. And a lot of this is free resources for everybody that's watching online. You can actually do this yourself. And then what would be the names of 2 individuals? And just asking them in any area. Does that help or not so much?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. What other questions do we have? Any of the speakers? Any of the segments?
This question is for Mark. On the 3 DNA for people, DNA for business, and DNA for life, how did that help you and your business, and how is it working now?
Sure. So when I got into the mortgage industry, 100% straight commission, promoted into management, worked really hard. I'm a driver analytic personality, and you're supposed to treat other people the way you want to be treated, right? Yeah, no, they don't. I have found people don't like to be treated the way I like to be treated. So it helped me in my early 20s to realize other people weren't like me. They don't think like me. They're not motivated like I'm motivated. They don't. So it transformed how other people think of me. So I think of myself as like one of the nicest guys on the planet. Because I'm honest and direct with people, a lot of people, they don't think I'm nice. They think I'm actually mean. That's important to understand that. So the DNA for people, transformed not only my business, but my marriage, my 7 kids, all kinds of relationships. It's absolutely amazing. Now, the 530 grid took decades to put together. And so that is that's the engine That's the engine in the car, and it's intricate in how it's woven together. And it's not something get rich quick, get, fix it overnight. And so there's so many seminars, workshops, or coaches out there that, they don't have, they don't have a process. It's not that what they're telling you is wrong. It's just not the right timing. And if you don't have the right timing in business, think about it. 97% of all businesses go out of business within the first 7 years. That's only 3% that survive. So unfortunately, so many coaches out there, even good business people, even people that have been at C level, they don't understand the science behind it. The 530 grid is the science. The first time Tom went ahead and saw it, he's like, Mark, this is like the holy grail of business. He was blown away. He could immediately see the significance, the simplicity, but yet the complexity of it. The third is the DNA for life, the natural laws, Rosanna. It's an ongoing like the more you know about all three of these, the more you don't know. And so it's intriguing. I'm confident if without these I would not be in business today. I have been blessed to where now in the last 8 years I've had an extra 20 hours of free time a week, and I take off 1 week, each month. And so it's giving me what very few people in my position, very few owners of companies, very few presidents of companies, especially if they're speakers and authors. I've written 16 books, over 60 white papers, 7 children, 5 grandchildren. But I have an abundance of time. I have 20 extra hours of free time a week, take off 1 week every month. Without doing that, if you're listening and you're not getting everything done, you have some level of success, get EVAs for sure. I meant to say something sooner about that. Shame on me. Executive virtual assistants, you don't want to learn how to do all this stuff. I'm just saying. Get them to come in and do it on your behalf. If you can at all, afford it, make the sacrifices, invest the money to get them to do it. They'll do it better than you, and then you can do what you love doing and generates money for you. If you're not able to afford getting an EVA, then you have to do the work yourself. Do it as best as you can until you get the money in, and then take the money as much as you can, invest it into getting a solid plan, invest it into the tools and the systems, and then invest it into the EVAs to do the work for you, and that will make it all happen for you. Does that answer your question, Rosanna?
It is. Thank you.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, good stuff. Hey, we're going to wrap things up. We've got a couple minutes here to do our last segment, which is Great Things Next Month. Actually, Great Things Next Week. We're going to have the Mastermind Seminar live, and that is going to be in Indiana. It's going to be the most powerful live event that we've ever had. Why? Because it's built on 5 years of what's happened in Chicago. It's built on Philadelphia. It's built on Cleveland. It's built on Kosovo. It's building on Chicago again. It's phenomenal. So it's going to be July 27th, and it's going to be right here. Just go to mastermind-seminars.org. You go to the home, and then it's going to take you right into past and future and past live events. And when you click on that, it's going to come up with all the future events, and it'll show you the past events. So check into, when you click the additional information or details, it'll let you know what's going on. There's a post-mastermind feedback here, but really, there's a huge MVP video. You got to see the video. It's MMS Indiana. On your time, watch it. This is going to get you excited. It's going to help give you information. It's going to help give you the big picture. It's going to help see how people like yourself are trying to be included in making this an amazing event. September, we have other events coming up. October, we have Chicago. January is Reno. So there's a lot of things going on. Maryland, definitely in September here of 2018. Just going to be spectacular. And why is Maryland going to be spectacular? Because it's building on this success of Indiana. So do you see how it works? It's gradually building so much momentum that it's going to continually be worldwide. So we want to invite you to come to these events. get on a mastermind call, please. We have them once a week, and there's all kinds of. I would recommend the one on Saturday, which is going to be at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. People said you're not going to get people on 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and guess what? There's a bunch of people that are actually on there and stay for not only a half an hour, which is the length of this of the call, but actually stay longer. And don't never think of it as a longer call than 30 minutes. It's just that anything after that is a gift from me to you and you to me and us to each other in helping us understand the best opportunities and how we can work through things. So Saturdays, and that's going to be at 7:30. There's also tons of other calls, and we can check that out. So I really recommend that you change your schedule or include in your schedule, block it out for July 27th, which is next week, Indiana. Get there in person. It's going to absolutely blow you away. Kennedy is coming, and she is 13 or 14 years old. She wants to be an entrepreneur. She has been immersed in discovery learning with Jennifer Tibbs, and she's going to have a huge part of that. The other speakers, we have people like Alan Stein from Tanglewood, and he's flying 3 people in from Maryland. We have Lee Smith. She's flying in from Reno, Nevada. People are coming in. Why? These are the leaders. These are the movers. These are the shakers. These are the people that are actually gaining a lot of benefit and helping other people do the same. So we're so excited that you came and joined us today. And we just want to thank you for your time. But again, more importantly, join us in this quest to making this totally different, and our lives are totally going to be changed. And we're going to have influence on people worldwide. We're going to help people be included. We're going to have so much fun doing it, and it's going to be done in an orderly process. So thanks for coming. I hope you had a fantastic time. Have a great day, and God bless. We'll see you next month.
Wow. So what did you think? Did you feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose? A lot of information in a very short period of time. We get it. Don't worry if you don't pick it all up the first time, because each month you'll come back, you'll pick up more and more each and every month. The more we pick up and apply, the more money we'll earn as a result of attending this event, and the more time we'll have, the less stress we'll have, and the greater life balance we'll have in every area of life we value. Often people ask, what's next? Great question. Did you register yet that you attended? If not, do that immediately at www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. And we will assist you in having strong follow-through with what you learn. There are some amazing follow-up resources that we will get over. There is no charge for any of these resources. Okay, so you've registered. Now what? If you haven't already done your complimentary 30-minute gift coaching session, then that is the place to start. Go to www.dnaforsuccess.com. Go to the top drop-down, examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Click on that. It will literally take you 3 minutes to complete that, and then someone from Legacy Partners and Mastermind Seminars will call you and give you your 30-minute strategy session. Again, there's no cost. It's a gift from every one of us to you. Go into that 30-minute strategy session expecting that your business and life will be changed forever, because it has so for so many people. Again, go to www.dnaforsuccess.com, go to the top drop-down examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Once you complete that, there are so many different possible solutions to assist you in overcoming the biggest challenge you're currently facing, and how to help you develop your very own BOS, the engine which runs your business. There are weekly live mastermind calls, coffee connections you can attend at no cost. There are online courses, group coaching, media solutions, and even one-on-one coaching which can be provided to you depending on your specific needs and overall goals. Please do not leave today without committing to meeting with at least 2 other people, either over coffee or over the phone, at a minimum once a week, to follow through on all the amazing information, ideas, tools, systems, and great people, both locally and then around the world, through Mastermind Seminars and Legacy Partners. One side note, because there is no charge to attend, participate, and gain massive benefit from mastermind seminars, individuals often wonder, how do these amazing events are funded? Well, they are actually funded by generous individuals just like you who give financially weekly through Coffee Connection contributions or monthly through mastermind seminars. Your generous contribution to Life Masteries Institute, which is an IRS-approved 501c3 nonprofit organization, not only enables the events, tools, and networks to be developed and given to you and others, but also a portion of your gift goes to many great causes. When we give generously in a financial way, we gain financially as well. No gift is too small. Even giving $5 a week or even a month will make a big difference. To give, go to www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-it-forward. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-it-forward. Here is what others have found. In just getting started with my company, I didn't feel I could give anything. Even $5 a month was a sacrifice. I decided to do that, and as soon as I started to give financially, I became more focused on turning what I was learning into financial gain for me personally, and it worked. I'm now contributing a little more and will continue to increase my giving as my business and income grows. Adam, a new entrepreneur. We have given over $45,000 because we know it's the right thing to do. Yes, we do give of our personal and company resources, time and talents, but we also know how important it is to give financially as well. We have found that when we give financially, we become more focused on turning our involvement into sales and financial success. It seems that those who do not give financially, they often do not gain financial benefit. The entire Mastermind seminar experience has done more for building a successful culture through our entire company than hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultants, seminars, and workshops. We've accomplished more in a couple of years than the 20-plus years prior. Any individual, any company, any organization which does buy in and get their entire company involved is, how do I best say it, missing out on a chance of a lifetime. Alan Stein and Nancy Virts, owners, www.tanglewoodconservatories.com. I give financially weekly, and my business has more than doubled. Ginger Ann Collins, owner EVA, executive virtual assistant, and executive coach. www.dnaforsuccess.com/implementation/E-VAS. The more I give financially, the more I receive financially. Ann Wayman, dream giver, ghostwriter, www.annwayman.com. I was looking for additional income streams, and by giving financially, it's opened so many doors for me. So many opportunities become available when we are financially generous. Ed Noel, mortgage professional, owner, leadership, and team building coach. It was really tough for us to give anything, as we had invested so much into our business. But we decided to start out with $25 a month. We didn't think of it as a very big gift, but the truth is, it was a lot for us when we started. And the doors that financial gift has opened for us are huge. We will be giving a portion of what we generate in our business back to Life Masteries Institute and pay it forward to help others around the world gain financial freedom. Steve and Avalinda Casey, owner, real estate investing, speaker, and author. Being a part of Mastermind seminars over the last 3 years has changed the way I think about every area of life. When we give financially, we not only support what is given to us, but we assist others in our community and around the world. Be generous. Kevin King, helping people save money on health insurance. My business has benefited so much from the Mastermind seminars and coffee connections. It's the right thing to give back weekly financially. Jonathan Sparrow, owner, web technology, www.themvpnetwork.org. If you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas from today, please connect with the individual who invited you to attend or your MC, host, or you can even call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300, or the U.S. base number is 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. Always remember, we can accomplish far more together than we ever could on our own. So think of 3 other individuals you believe would benefit from what we shared and invite them to your Mastermind conference call, Coffee Connection, and next month's Mastermind seminar event. Have an amazing day and life.